You have touched on it in this interview a little bit, and I know you've spoken open in public about what you've
Mm.
gone through, but would you be as kind and you can say as little or as much as
Mm.
you like, but could you just, for those that don't know, tell us what has happened and maybe, if possible, how it first come about and a bit of the process, if you may.
Yeah, no problem. It's the, the start of it was basically I was working doing Soccer Saturday, which was my regular gig. Just done a bit of a deal with Sky for doing that, and then next thing you know, I literally my eyesight started going a bit um, funny for for a couple of the games. But I thought I'll just have an eye test, get my eyes sorted out, and I'll be back working soon. And then I did another game. I felt absolutely fine. It was Middlesbrough away. My mate's the press officer at Middlesbrough as well, and he probably won't even know this, but I was watching the game and just thought I can't see it like I used to. Couldn't see it. Like my eyesight is, if anyone knows me, my eyesight is unbelievable usually. And it went from, oh yeah, it feels a bit blurred to me now. I must need gig glasses, whatever you call them nowadays. And so I went and got my eyes tested, absolutely fine. Next thing you know, the doctor and locally to where I live in Calderdale just basically said, Don, we've never seen you since football because you know I've not touched wood. You know I had lots of injuries, but there's nothing serious. So, well, we're just going to have a little check on you, do a few scans, make sure everything's all right, and you know hopefully you'll be fine. So, as I was coming into the hospital in Leeds, near City Centre, Jimmy's, I had to scan, and as soon as I walked in for the scan, I felt like I was going under a little bit as that was happening. And as I was talking to the nurse or the doctors, and they basically said, "Listen, stop right now. Whatever you've got on now, you can't go anywhere. You need to stay here." And at that point, I was waiting, but I'd lost the plot a little bit. So it's kind of like I didn't really know what was going on because it was happening. This
Mm.
illness was hitting me now as I was in the hospital. So in a way, I was kind of lucky that it was happening in the hospital. But obviously, they'd seen something on the scans, which they didn't mention to me, and I don't really remember that. But then, obviously, I remember a little bit of them saying to me, "We found something. We found a mass, something quite bad, and we think it's in your brain. We're going to have to do more scans, but it looks pretty bad." So that's about as much as I kind of remember. And then, obviously, you know, a few days after that, I was fighting for my life, and you know, luckily the hospital saved my life. You know, the surgeons and stuff basically put me back together because at one point I was gone, and you know, the wife had been told that you know we're not sure there's much more we can do for him, and luckily I'm a fighter, and I rolled my sleeves up. Well, that's what I didn't really roll my sleeves up, but I kind of, you know, that's what you've got to do, isn't it? And yeah, metaphorically, that's correct. Yeah, good word. That actually, I didn't use that.
I'm surprised
And
myself, actually.
but no, it was just that's what happened, and before you know it, I'm in hospital. They've opened my head up, you know, 67 staples right throughout my skull, my head.
Mhm.
You know, and you don't ever want to be in that position. Let's be honest. And it came from nothing. I mean, literally nothing. So this is why I always, you know, when I'm talking, when I'm speaking to people, don't be scared to go and have a test for anything, you know, bowels, anything. People sometimes get a bit stupid about not going for a scan or whatever. Believe me, I'm alive because you know that first doctor who seen me in near where I live told me to go for a scan just to check. That was just a check,
Mm.
and I listened to her. And you've got to do that. You've got to listen to that information. But yeah, basically, and going back to when I was in hospital, yeah, my memory is very vague on that. Like I say, the wife's still a bit. I think she still struggles a bit now because I think what she had to witness when you told that you know you might not make it, or you know, at one point I was told I was going to be blind, which I am partially blind, so that they registered me blind at the minute, which is I'm not blind because I can see out this eye. Sorry, left one better than me right. I've got a little bit of vision left in this right eye, so I've had to readjust. But like I said, I met a guy from the Blind Society, and he was like, "What are you moaning for? At least you can see out with one of your eyes." And you know what? It just puts it back to reality. It's like, yeah, do you know what? What am I moaning for? You know, some people can't see, some people can't do anything. Yeah, there's a lot of things I can't do now, but in the main, I can do most of it, and I'm going to progress, and I'm going to get stronger and better at all the things that I've lost. Because when I had my brain tumor, and it comes down the left-hand side of your body, you lose the ability usually to read, write, learn. So you lose all your learning like skills. They all go, which a lot of people don't know about brain tumor. If it comes down the left-hand side, that's where it goes for as well. So you lose a lot. But what can I do? I've just got to move forward, get on with it. I'm getting a little bit better at me reading, a little bit better at me writing. Sorry, my cat's just coming in. So she is. It's always a bit because always a few pets knocking around in our house. So yeah, basically, it's about me now refocusing myself and putting myself in that strength, that position. I work a lot with a life coach, a guy from Leeds, and you know, he's really happy with the progress I'm showing. It just shows you little things like life coach. I mean, I never thought I'd ever have a life coach. Didn't think I ever needed one. And as you know, I can talk, and good for me, I can, because if I couldn't talk, there's no outlet for me at the moment. You know, it's just talking's all I can do. You know, because even watching TV and stuff isn't quite like what it was. If I'm sat this close, it's better for me to watch stuff. But obviously, I can't sit in the house and watch TV that close. It just ain't right. But you know, I'm doing lots of things to work on that and improve it. You like you say, and you know, I know you've had some experience with brain tumors and stuff yourself, and it's something there's not a real lot of support for them. But like you said, there's going to be some stuff that I'm getting involved with a couple of guys, and when it all comes out there, we'll let you people know. And you know, let's get behind it, because it's something it's not much help for brain tumors out there at the minute. It's not a lot known, and my brain tumor is very, very rare. Yeah, at the moment I chat with a guy who's 2% of the world at the moment have lived for 6 years. He's got this, you know, glioblastoma. 2% of the world. Just think about that. This guy that I know, 2% of the world survived a glioblastoma. You know, that's the kind of people I'm surrounding myself with. He's an absolute machine, this kid. You know, and I wish him every success in the world with whatever he does. And I'm going to be backing him all the way with this and what we're doing involved with stuff, because we need to, because with cancer and brain tumors, it affects everyone. You know, and it's not just like me that's been affected with this. It's affected my 3 kids, my mum and dad, all my family, you know, all my mates, everything. It affects everyone. So it's a bigger picture than what we all think. And I think if we can all get together, like you say, I would chat to anyone. If anyone rung me, you know the person I am now, you spoke to me, speak to anyone, I'll ring anyone. I call people randomly and say, how you doing? They're like, oh, Dom, what, yeah, I'm just seeing how you doing. You're all right. I've heard you're not doing too well. And have a chat with them and try and motivate them that way, because that's what I can do. I can motivate people. I know I can. And that's my next step is to get into that world a little bit. I still want to be involved in the football. Of course I do. But I also want to work somewhere, and I'm just looking for that angle at the minute where I can get involved with helping with mental health, whatever it might be, because it's going to be massive in the near future, or it already is. And, you know, we're seeing more of it at the moment because of the way of the world. And I think it's very important that we do talk about these subjects. And you know, I bet you'll discuss mental health, and it's going to be around forever. So it's one thing that we can't neglect, and it's something I'm very, very passionate about.
Well, firstly, thank you for being so open about that. I think you're obviously aware how much that can help other people. I know it's a personal thing. It's a horrific set of circumstances to go through, but you're showing your leadership, your communication skills, and to men and women out there, you've just got to get checked, and don't be embarrassed about it. Get it done, get it sorted, and get better. That's it, and you're absolutely spot on. There's no rocket science behind it. Just, you know, listen to what they tell you. You know, and they're brilliant people. I mean, look at the NHS. We can't talk about them enough at the moment because they deserve everything they get. You know, they all talk about footballers earning big wages. You know, what about these nurses and doctors who keep people alive day in, day out, working all these long hours? That's the people who should be getting it. Let's be brutal. Let's be honest about it. You know, let's give them some more money. They deserve it, especially the year they've been going through, and all the people, you know, everything's been going on. You know, I'm 1,000,000% behind them, and you know, I've got a nurse, Jules, who comes to see me every week.
because she's allowed to, and she just looks out for me. She sends me messages regularly, just how you doing, you know, and that is so lovely. She doesn't have to do that. She's friends with my missus, and she's just become part of the family now for me. And we chat regular, and you know, if I've got any things on my mind, she'll just talk me through them a little bit, because sometimes with a brain injury, you're a bit mixed up with sort of stuff, and you might have seen a little bit of time going off and talk about something else. That's just the way that's what happens with you. But you know, we found a way to get through that, and I'm trying to understand everything better because I need to for my work and stuff. But just having that little bit of help around me, like from a nurse or from a doctor or whatever, and just knowing a few people, physios even for, you know, because physios know about health and stuff, and just all that kind of stuff. It helps. Might not be the help for everyone that everyone needs, but I tell you what, it's a good start.